Hey everyone, from Spiero here. You're watching Buy and Hold Fundamentals. Still looking at Indianapolis, Indiana, and like every day, I'll be looking at 20 potential buy and hold properties and doing an initial analysis. On weekends, you can see me do a summary of what of the 100 properties I found that week in that particular city, and find some of the commonalities that you can draw from all that data and how that helps us to find or to better identify cash flowing properties. Sundays, I look at multifamily deals, something I'm very interested in, but just getting the hang of. So you can come and join me and come along for the ride. It's pretty interesting. So that's about it. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And even if you don't, let's get started. Okay, and basically what we're doing is collecting 4 pieces of data: the address, the asking price, a market rent rate as calculated by Zillow, and the tax rate. And we stick all of that into not like that, into the deal analysis sheet. Let's see what the taxes are like. $347, and that comes up with some interesting data here. Rent ratio, which is nice and healthy. The expense ratio, a little bit on the low side, but still reasonable. Forget about all of that. Next, cash flow is looking good, and cash is at 10%. Go back here, 148 and 10%. That's how we make our way through all of these. And once you gather enough data, the data starts telling you stories. You start seeing prices. That's a duplex. You start being able to make assumptions about rents and taxes, even when they're missing. Here, for instance, because it's a duplex, the Zillow app does not know how to differentiate between a single family and a multifamily, so the algorithm doesn't work. Rent ratio very healthy, cash flow looking good, 321 and 23%. 21, 23, and that's duplex. Check rent, just to remind me. I do need to remember to not get too excited. One, because at least from both the properties we've seen here, and oh, there you go, Ruthie's on the way. Both the properties we've seen here, and sort of the prices and all that kind, and the state they've been in. This is potentially is a pretty rough neighborhood, and especially if you don't know a city. And I'm not super familiar with Indianapolis. Even if I find really good deals here. I gotta go and do my due diligence on the neighborhoods, the real rent rates in those areas, real estate of the 78% and 4%, $78, 4%. The real estate of the properties. Again, if places are cash flowing at 23%, either you found a very rare gem, especially with all of the really conservative assumptions that I make on costs, or you're potentially in a war zone. In other words, be careful. Let's keep on going. 800. Excuse me. 41. That gets us $1. And what we're seeing here is when the rent ratio dips sort of under 1.3%, things start becoming borderline. Then again, if you manage the place yourself, if you get in good shape, then you're very likely to get above what this is showing. The reason I use such conservative percentages on vacancies, on property management, repairs, and capex is to make sure that I find things that have room in it to screw up. $80, 5%. And when I leave room to screw up, even when things screw up, they'll still make money. And that is land. I'm not looking at buying land. Okay, and we have actual reports on rents as opposed to what Zillow says. Let's see. Just clean that up. They're saying 800, which fits with sort of the averages we've been seeing in the neighborhood. But I'm curious. Owner financing, that's really interesting. $750. So the rent's even a little bit higher according to what they claim. It's still probably not going to work. But what's interesting is let's see what the taxes are like. 209, that is really low. 121 and 7%. And I'm just curious what's and they're trying to sell it not to an investor. That previous place, they're not trying to sell it to an investor, but rather to someone who'd buy it with the notion that paying off the landlord would cost less than renting a place like that. They're just ignoring taxes, insurance, the fact that you need to fix up the place if something goes wrong, but it's not a bad proposal. 750. Let's see where this goes. This is going to cash flow because of the rent ratio, which is very high. Taxes are 1165. Let's see if that kills the deal. Nope. 156. 16%. Okay. Yeah, let's keep on going. So we're going to go 1310, 850 asking price, 108, 7%. There we go. This takes us 865. I need to go back up here. 130. It's 65. What did I say? Yeah. Weird number. And 584. That's not going to work. Rent ratio is too low, and we're well in the red. 107 and negative 3%, and we need to go here. But minus 107, negative 3. Let's finish up this side first. $795, 452, 452, 795, and what else? Ah, of course. Silly moi. Cash flow wise, it's doing okay. Cash and cash, it's a little bit under par. That has to do with the rent ratio. 101, 6%. Also sort of borderline rent ratio wise. There we go. 1.14. Let's see what the tax is for. 67. That won't make much of a difference. 92 bucks, 5%. Come on. Really doubt that this one's going to cash flow at 100,000, and the prices we're getting here on rent, that's 900. That's not going to do it. It's under 1%. $481. Nope. $40, 2%. Make 50. Almost 0.5% rent ratio. No way that's gonna work out. $565. Negative 149, 4%. See where this one takes us. There we go. 795. That's really borderline. $795, and for taxes, how are we doing for taxes? $670. No real weird taxes today. Why is that? That's why. Okay. $53, 3%. 53, 3%. And what's next? This is next. Duplexed. Okay. That potentially, again, if the neighborhood's okay, then 70 grand. Potential seller financing, which is also interesting. And 850. $850. 1198. 61 and 3%. There we go. There we go. No, why didn't... Who asked you to debug? Let's see if it picked it up now. No, still not. Bobby, I see you. You're gonna sit there? We're still gonna see you. There we go. $7.95. Taxes. $13.97. That's really gonna hurt. $13.97. $7.95. High rent ratio sort of saves the bacon, but the taxes are eating into the cash on cash. 106, 8%. Let's take that one. Trying to crawl your way out, Abby. $7.50. Wow, I thought I was gonna sneeze there for a second. Okay. $7.50. That's $3.79. 198, 18%. 198, 18. Okay. Let's go. Grab that. $6.98, 95, $9.14. $87, 7%. 87, 7. Next. Nothing says bored realtor like an out of focus picture, and nothing says we're just fishing around. Like no pictures of the interior. $7.25. On the other hand, it might be what's scaring everybody else off. And that's why your advantage is always be looking for the anomalies. $5.44. And that's not even close. $15, 1%. Here we go. Do that one. Grab that. Okay. 236. What's the taxes? 750. 236. 81%. $81. 4%. Why that's still red. There we go. And last one for today. 747. There we go. 750. 1015. 750 is still there. Nope. Negative 41, negative 2. Negative 41, negative 2%. There we have it, another 20 properties. I'll be back to do another 20, and then we'll have finished our first week of Indianapolis. I'll see what that sort of tells us about this town, or at least these neighborhoods we've been looking at. That's about it. My name is Spiero. You've been watching Buy and Hold Fundamentals, and I'll see you next time.